Every year, millions of people hike the Appalachian Trail, and they leave it more scared than they were before. They leave feeling different from seeing something they couldn't explain. And this is just some of their stories.
Jen and Coco sit by the fire, talking about the tales that never tire. Ghosts and ghouls up in the trees, whispering secrets on the breeze. Down in the holler where shadows hide, lights flicker where the spirits glide. They swear they saw Jim, now gone, walking around with his boots still on. Unseen things in the Appalachian night, haunted fields where the moon don't lie. Cryptids howl and the stories flow. Jen and Coco, they surely know.
Hello, hello. We're
Hello
back.
again.
We're back.
We are. Hi, Jen.
Hi, it's February, right?
No, it's not.
When this airs, it is.
Oh, okay. Don't scare me like that. I'm like,
She's like, where was I
What?
the last 2 weeks?
what? I already lose enough time as it is. Don't do that to me. Whew.
Yes.
Okay.
So when this is posted,
Yes, it'll be
So
February.
happy February, Aquarius season, you weird fucks.
Ugh.
Have a good season. And then it's Pisces season.
And then it's Aries season.
So, yes, tonight we are talking about the Appalachian Trail. And I know I love me a good Reddit story.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are unhinged and
Ghost stories.
yeah.
Reddit
So
ghost stories.
we're gonna read Reddit stories, creepy stories from the Appalachian Trail. We were just talking about wanting to go on the Appalachian Trail and just I ain't gonna hike the whole thing.
Well, no.
It spans over 2,000 miles
That's crazy.
from Georgia to Maine.
And people literally hike the whole thing.
Yeah, not
Won't
me.
be me.
I didn't sign up for that. So, yeah.
Don't put me down for cardio.
We were talking about, you were looking up how many people actually died on the Appalachian Trail. And
and they said it's only like 2 to 3, that they don't actually keep track of fatalities or injuries.
But I said to her, I'm like, that doesn't account for all the missing people. If you look up the documentary, I believe it's Missing 411, a lot of missing people on the map. It kind of does the same. It does the outline of the Appalachian Mountains almost, and like some of the other mountain ranges.
No shit.
People going missing in national parks and mountain ranges. There are so many caves under Appalachia, and I'm sure all kinds of places in the world. But you know, we're worrying about Appalachia right now. I'm not taking on the world.
We're only concerned about Appalachia.
Yeah, lots of caves, lots of cave systems. They could have just went missing, passed away from falling in a hole.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's
Or they're
Bigfoot.
living in a whole underground system now.
Maybe Mothman.
Definitely
hungry.
Bigfoot.
Any kind of
Maybe.
cryptid. You know.
Who knows what's down there?
Yeah.
Want to go investigate?
Maybe.
Yeah. I think
Need
that would
snacks,
be fun.
though.
Definitely have snacks. So yeah, we're gonna get into these ghost stories.
By the way,
oh yeah, these are bomb.
Mothman chips.
Where were we?
We're not sponsored.
We
by
were in West
Mothman
Virginia.
Chips, although if you
But
want
we
to
should
sponsor
be.
us,
Mothman chips.
We
They're
should.
delicious.
yes, they taste. Well, I'm not going to tell you what they taste
They
like. You have
taste
to. You have to go
like
yourself.
Mothman butthole
Juice.
dust.
I said juice. You said dust. Butthole juice.
Juicy dust.
Yes. They're very good though. You'll have to try them yourself if you want to know what flavors. They're very good.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So, do you want to go first? Because I've been talking a lot. So tell us. And again, can't prove these stories. They're from Reddit.
But I believe every single one of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Tell us your stories. We will believe you.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to do like a podcast, a podcast on like our followers' ghost stories.
Yeah.
So,
but you guys have to do your part.
Yin's guys need to send us your scary stories that have happened to you. Please send them in. Okay. I'm going to read this first one.
Okay.
About 15 years ago, I was doing a week-long section hike in February. Hiked all day and was planning on staying at the Quarry Gap and Shelter in PA. And there was a tall, creepy, homeless guy staying in one of the shelters. He was babbling about all sorts of bizarre stuff. NSA was watching him. His brother stabbed him with an ice pick. Did I believe in God? Were there cameras in the woods reading his thoughts, etc.? I decided I would hike another 7 miles in the dark to the Rocky Mountain shelter. When the guy decides to tag along and babble more bizarre things.
Oh my God. I'd be like, dude.
I'd be like, hell no.
Get away from me.
Yeah. I figured I was going to have to smack him upside the head with a rock and leave him in Caledonia State Park. But when we got to Route 30, I gave him $10 and told him he should go into town because there were special agents in the woods possibly looking for him.
Smart thinking.
I watched him as he walked off in the distance, and then I double timed it to the shelter. Slept with one eye open that night. That's
crazy.
I mean, that's not a ghost story.
But that's a creepy story.
Yeah.
What's up with that guy? But honestly, this battles down more to mental illness.
Yeah.
Which can be scary too, though. No.
Well, yeah,
shade to
because
anybody, but you don't know.
but
somebody that
you don't know what their actions would be, or how they would behave,
or if they are imagining things,
right? Hallucinating, seeing things, whatever.
Yep.
So
I found one. Well, one person was discussing about how they were at a shelter, heard a loud crash in the night. It woke up everybody. They were scared, but they tried to fall back asleep. In the morning, they figured out it was a tree fell onto the shelter. So, not scary. But then somebody else commented under them, replied to them. My scary story is actually from the same shelter. I showed up at 11 p.m. with nobody else there and tried cooking up some quick mashed potatoes and was bombarded with a swarm of moths. Mothman.
Yeah.
Little Mothmans.
Yeah, little baby Mothman.
I couldn't see anything without my headlamp, but they were so bad I attempted to cook in the dark. Yeah, could you imagine if you had the headlamp on, they're just swarming your face?
Yeah, ew, no.
They were diving straight into the flames of my stove. I began eating the potatoes in the dark, and to my horror, I realized several powdery white moths made it into my potatoes.
Well,
one and only time I
like
ever
protein.
set up my tent in a shelter, I completely, out of desperation, had to do that. Even then, about a dozen of them made it inside the tent with me. Oh, God. Every time someone brings up this shelter, I ask them if they encountered any moth swarms, but nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. Sometimes I wonder if I dreamed it in a post-night hike haze. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to read this one.
Okay.
The most scared I ever was on trail was not on the AT, but on the Benton McKay Trail. Okay, so this isn't, never mind. That's not the Appalachian Trail. Nobody cares about another trail, dude. Sorry.
That's okay. My first night solo hiking in the woods ever was on the Appalachian Trail in the fall, and I was the only person at the shelter. I had absolutely no idea there were coyotes on the Appalachian Trail, and they started fighting each other near the bear box where I had my food. I was terrified since I had no idea if they were dangerous to people or not, and I Googled just that from my tent with my 1 bar of service. Coyotes at night sound terrifying.
Yeah, they do.
If you don't know what they are, you think it's like human. It freaks you out.
It's really creepy.
They do often sound very human-like.
Yeah. Okay. Met a weird guy at a hostel that I'm 90% sure stole my battery bank, but can't prove that. He was a pretty quiet dude who just hung around the edges of groups, but constantly complained about the AT compared to other trails he had hiked. I didn't really think much of him compared to other weird folks I had met so far, but he ended up being a pretty bad creep. By the time we leave, my group's had enough of him, so we're happy to leave him behind at the hostel when we head out. He had been talking about getting off and going to another trail, so we thought that would be the last of him. A few hours later, we stopped for lunch at a shelter, and the guy was already there, set up for the night. He never passed us while hiking, so he had to have yellow blazed there. I don't know what that means. And was suddenly pretty talkative to us. We humored him, ate lunch, and got out of there as his energy was now really off-putting. Luckily, that was the last we saw of him. I kept tabs on his socials just to be safe, and he ended up switching trails a few days later. He was definitely the scariest guy I met on the trail, excluding random crazy people in PA.
I have one. They said the only kind of creepy thing that I had happen was I was on that Abingdon Gap shelter just before Damascus. It was a cold night and it had rained all day. It was also a new moon. I got out of my tent probably around 10 p.m. to pee, and the fog was so heavy with no moon. I lost sight of my tent. Walking about 5 feet away, it just disappeared into the dark fog. That would be scary.
Yeah.
Luckily, the stake strings were reflective, so I could find it. But the thought of not having my headlamp and getting turned around was scary. It got down to like 30 that night, and I woke up in my tent covered in snow. That would be like terrifying.
Yeah.
I get freaked out if I just like can't find my car in a parking
I
lot.
know, right?
Another incident that he said that wasn't as creepy, but dangerous. There was a couple at a shelter in North Carolina. Randomly, they just started fist fighting, like a full-on brawl. Then she started yelling at him that she was going to call the FBI and tell them where he was, and that he knows he has federal warrants. They did it again in the morning. Turned out he was armed, which I didn't know at the time. If I had, I probably would have moved on, because a felon with a firearm with a violent tendency is still a bad recipe. Yeah. Because honestly, human beings are far scarier than the things in the woods.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really liking this thread. There's really not. I thought. Sorry, I'm crunching in the camera. I thought it was going to be like all ghost stories.
Yeah. They're creepy though. This one is.
It's more like other encounters with other hikers, and that they were just weird fucks.
Somebody said, I did a section hike when I was less experienced. It was too far from shelters and got caught in some muddy rain. So I decided to set up my tent in the gravel parking lot at a road crossing. I figured behind literally right on the trail, people would understand I was a hiker, but I had a car pull over just to scream at me in the dead middle of the night. They left after I said I was a hiker, but as a woman who hikes alone, it was pretty frightening. Like I said, the people are crazier than what you're going to see out there.
This is a long one. I don't know if I can read that whole thing.
Go ahead.
It says, I live in the heart of Appalachia, and this is easily the most terrifying story of one of my experiences. And it has over 2,000 upvotes and 400 comments. All right. It is a long one. This story, what's this, short, or it may be drawn out. I am recounting these events as I type, as it was honestly one of the most horrifying things I have experienced, and it brings me genuine stress to think about. This happened maybe 2 to 3 years ago. I live in southern West Virginia and have for my entire life. The woods and mountains surround every direction you look, and nighttime is a darkness that you can never dream of unless experienced. I was with a friend. I'll call him Mark. Mark was at my house one evening doing the usual things, watching UFC, playing Xbox, etc. It was extremely late when we finally got bored and decided to go for a walk on a nearby trail to smoke a joint. Sounds like my kind of dude. This is not a particularly long trail, but it was very dense in the woods that surround it. And it was easy to get freaked out when thinking of your surroundings. We finally get to about halfway in the trail, about 30 minutes, where we stop, pack our joint, and stand on the trail just to talk. The forest is very alive tonight. There are always noises in the woods, but the amount of animal activity for the time was unsettling. It was probably about 1 a.m. This was strange and kind of eerie, but but not alerting, as any sort of predatory animal in the area may cause a disturbance. We finish smoking and continue our walk when almost immediately the forest falls dead quiet. And as soon as the forest goes quiet, there's a voice. It almost sounds like a mocking humanoid voice, shaky and uncertain, almost like old children's toy, like the ones with the crackly speakers and robotic voice.
Ew.
You know?
Yuck.
This immediately sets us off. We bolt directly down the opposite length of the trail, but the sound does not gain distance. It doesn't get closer per se, but no matter how far we run down the trail, this eerie voice remains the same volume, going over and over with no quieting or stopping. At this point, I am convinced that we are in genuine danger, something I felt very few times. Finally, after sprinting for who knows how long, we exit the trail, gasping for breath and almost at the verge of tears for how frightening this was.
Wow.
We begin to exit the trail, and about 5 minutes from the exit, there is a bone-shaking, heart-stopping, murderous scream from directly behind us. I know what a mountain lion sounds like. This was not an animal. This was not someone playing or watching a movie. This scream sent birds flying from nests and made my heart drop into my stomach. It was the most genuinely depraved and violent scream that I've ever heard. This is a true story that I've only told to maybe 3 people, all of whom seemed to brush it off as false. I've never been a person to push for the existence of the paranormal or spiritual, but I genuinely believe I encountered something inhuman in those woods. And there's an edit.
Getting chills.
I know. My back is... I know I'll receive questions such as what the voice was possibly saying or to explain the area and what happened. I genuinely cannot remember what the voice was saying, if anything intelligible. I don't know if I could understand it then. I certainly can't recall it now. All that I recall is that I was fluctuating voice and pitch, shaking, almost just joining sounds together. After running from the scream at the end of the trail, we ran to the car, which was about 5 minutes. Yeah. Wow. There's like 400 some comments on this, but a lot of them. Wait, somebody commented. This comment is really long, but the comment below it says something about Scotland and Pangea, and that makes me want to read this comment. But it's so long. You read it.
That's long. That's a long comment.
Is that too long to read on a podcast?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You'll have to look it up yourself.
Yeah.
Here's a weird one.
Somebody said, I love folklore. I immediately thought banshee. Sounds like it. That would be scary as hell.
Yep. Not on the Appalachian Trail, but I've told you, I've been to and we're going to go there in May. I've been there a couple times to Lake Shawnee. Been at, children passed away there. Okay. It's also, they found a bunch of bones of a Native American tribe. There's a lot of stuff that happened on that abandoned amusement park. And I was by the bathroom trailers, and it sounded like children laughing and kind of carrying on in the woods. And it's 3 a.m. in the middle of nowhere. Oh my God.
I would probably.
Well, I was like, hello, because you know how I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are you? We've had a lot of cool experiences though. But yeah, so
that would be freaky as hell.
This isn't so much a ghost story, but kind of disturbing. She said, not me, but my husband. I was off trail injured by this point. He was hiking to New York, and he saw a deer cut perfectly in half on the trail, but only the back half was left. He said it looked like it was cut with a laser. It was so precise. No blood drops, no jagged cuts or anything, just the back half of a baby doe left perfectly in the middle of the trail. He said immediately he noped out of there and started running. Survival instincts kicked in hard, so he didn't stay to investigate or take pics. We still talk about it and have no idea how it was cut and who could have done it, let alone why. This was back in 2019, and I've been wanting to make a post about it because surely someone else saw it. So freaky and bizarre.
That's fucked up. What does that sound like?
I don't know.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
All those animals that they found, like the cows that were cut with laser precision, no blood, no markings, no nothing.
That's weird. Get chills again.
That's crazy.
Yeah. a lot of.
Did he take pictures?
No, he said he didn't because he ran. They said like his survival instincts kicked in and he took off. I would definitely.
I would have taken pictures
Yes.
and then ran.
Yeah, yeah. But
I'm like, ooh, dead thing. Click, 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 and then bye.
there's so many just like the stories of like just people, like the weird ass people they encounter. Like this person ran into a guy in Georgia that was aggressively preaching about the end of days.
Oh God.
Somebody's like, meth is a hell of a drug. Which is possible.
That makes me kind of leery to go on it, but I still do.
Oh yeah, well,
Just carry my wasp
Yeah.
spray.
yeah.
For any of you people out there, wasp spray shoots farther than mace or bear spray and will fuck a person up. And it's cheaper. It's only like $10 a can. Carry that on you. Anybody comes near you on the trail, motherfucker. Okay.
All right, this one I didn't read it, so I have no idea. But let's see. Section hiking with my fiance around Winding Stair Gap in North Carolina. Stopped in the middle of the trail to prep for safety meeting. The forest was spooky silent, no birds, no bugs, no wind. Like I said,
That's creepy.
when things get quiet,
Yeah.
like that guy said, you got about X amount of minutes or time to get out of there before there's a threat. Neither of us were talking when all of a sudden 30 yards off trail and downslope, 4 to 6 trees the size of baseball bats started violently shaking. Womp, 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 womp. Then silence. Nothing. I thought maybe a bear had decided to climb out of a tree or maybe a tree fell. It was neither, not even close. The hair on my body stood on end and I felt an overwhelming urge to leave immediately. What can shake the trees so violently? On another section of the hike, this time I was camping on Tray Mountain in Georgia. I was relaxing post-dinner on a rock outcrop when 2 other hikers, a father and son, came. We were discussing satellites and watching as they moved across the clear, cold night sky. I was watching what I thought was a satellite until the object stopped abruptly and shot across the sky in the opposite direction, zoomed past across the night sky, and bolted downwards towards the skyline, then once more back up and then vanished. It took a minute to digest what I just saw before I could get the full sentence out. Did you guys see that? Out of my mouth, they both replied, yup.
Oh my God.
But satellites don't change direction or move like that.
That's true.
I mean, if something's going like this and then it zips back.
You know what does move like that? UFOs. I was going to say something, but I can't remember.
What would that be?
Oh, when I was relaxing post dinner on a rock. That made me giggle because I thought about that time we were in Central Park and
Oh my God.
the unhoused man on a rock yelled at me because I laughed too loud and woke him up in his living room.
I can't say what he said because it's a slur. Well, the one part, fat something ass bitch.
What did he?
The F word. It's a slander for gay people.
Oh yeah, he did
He yelled,
call me
a
that.
fat F ass bitch.
Yeah, he said, "Shut the fuck up, you fat."
Yeah. And it was hilarious.
It was hilarious, and then I laughed even louder
It
and was
fun.
like, "It's 3:00 in the afternoon, sir, and we're in Central Park. Like, sorry, I woke you up from your nap on a rock." Okay, sorry.
This
Proceed.
African Catman is his name.
What?
He said, on the Appalachian Trail, we found an abandoned backpack right on a trail near Siler Bald Mountain, Franklin, North Carolina. That's a long ass name.
Yeah.
And it contained a cheap sleeping bag, a bunch of canned food, snacks, and a passport of a 14-year-old Colombian boy. Yeah. Some people we were with and some day hikers called it in to the authorities. It looked like it had been there for a few days and was gone through by someone already.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Creepy as shit. I don't know, man.
Wonder where the closest, like, part of the trail is to us.
I don't know. It can't be that far. We're literally right
Siri,
by West Virginia.
where is the closest part
Entry
of the
point.
entry point of the Appalachian Trail to me? Hillsboro, West Virginia. Hillsboro, Virginia.
Okay.
So
Really? Doesn't it run through West Virginia?
3 hours.
Hmm.
Wait.
I guess we are only like.
Hey Siri.
Yeah, we can get to Virginia in like 3 hours.
Where is the closest Appalachian Trail entry to me? She's gonna be like, bitch, I just gave it to you.
So definitely not creepy, but definitely entertaining and quite scary. In April 2020, this is by Mobile Cobbler 1511. A group of scouts and I did a section hike from Carver's Gap, Tennessee to Roan Mountain. Long story short, it was once warm, but once on top of the big and little hump, it rained like the devil and had some extreme wind gusts that ripped off pack covers and knocked younger scouts over. Due to the driving arrangements, we had to complete the hike to thus avoid the risk of hypothermia that would incur from staying overnight on the mountain with completely soaked packs and sleeping bags. But halfway through, at the Overmountain Shelter, which is a condemned barn, some young gentleman from a wilderness ministry took us in and provided fire to warm us. I'm a Christian and have always seen this moment as a divine move of God and a powerful experience, but nonetheless a memorable time. Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
I wasn't paying attention, sorry. I was looking at the Appalachian Trail and where we can get
So
on
where
it.
is it? Where's the entry point to where we're at?
Well, there's a lot. Look, it runs right here.
I can't see. I'm blind. I'm blind.
Past Chambersburg?
Chambersburg. Oh, that's east, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Metal. That's kind of metal. Metal PA.
Oh, I bet you it's not too far from like Harper's Ferry in West
Where's
Virginia.
that at?
Some
Oh.
Martinsburg.
So it does.
Hagerstown, that's Maryland, I think.
Yeah, that's Maryland. Maybe it doesn't go through West Virginia. How does it not go through West
It
Virginia?
has to.
Where the hell's West Virginia? It literally doesn't.
Wow. I didn't know it slanted all like that.
It literally runs along. That's West Virginia. That's the only part. You guys see that? That's the only part that's West Virginia.
That's crazy. And what's it by?
Butt Mountain. It literally
Butt
says.
Mountain.
It literally says
Butt Mountain.
Butt Mountain. You guys
Mountain.
want to go on an adventure to Butt Mountain? What was that YouTube video with the unicorns that go to something mountain?
I have no idea.
Are you serious?
No, I really don't have any idea what you're talking about. It's okay though. It's getting to be 30 minutes. So
This is like E-Bomb's world, like early internet days.
I love E-Bomb's world. 55.
Unicorn. Wait,
Was
what
that?
was I just saying?
Butt Mountain.
Okay.
I'm a hippopotamus and I got noodles on my back. Do
Unicorn
you remember that one?
Mountain. No.
It was cute. It was like,
Oh, this one. Charlie the Unicorn Goes to Candy Mountain. You never watched that?
no.
Charlie.
Okay.
We'll watch it when we're not doing a podcast. All right. Guys, hopefully these stories were cool. Like we said earlier, we really want to do more ghost stories from like our followers. So please send them to us.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. Do it. Do it.
Send them to our DMs. Am I typing on a what is this?
Add effects.
Appalachian Ghost Girls across all platforms. So let us know your scariest stories. And we'll retell them.
Yeah. Okay.
While we eat snacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys. See
Bye.
you next time.
Jen and Coco sit by the fire, talking about the tales that never tire. Ghosts and ghouls up in the trees, whispering secrets on the breeze. Down in the holler where shadows hide, lights flicker where the spirits glide. They swear they saw Jim, now gone, walking around with his boots still on.